Kiki, this idiot, this was supposed to go to jail. Oh, ew. Okay. Hey. I know you're probably thinking this is weird because you guys have never seen the face that is behind the camera, and I'm pretty sure half of my viewer base thinks that I'm a female, but, how do I start this? I don't know how to start this. Okay, whatever. Hello, everybody. It is me, I, the one and only, the person who was behind the channel, and I am the creator of Beanie Boo Survivor seasons 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I decided to make a video like this based on impulse, and this is going to be like a retrospective video. I'm just gonna talk about like Beanie Boo Survivor and like what led to it and how I made it and all that stuff like that. I figured now would be a good time because this series, I've been doing this for like almost 4 years, and I am going to be a legal adult in like 3 weeks. So I think that I am old enough, I've matured enough to properly review my seasons and just dump everything on you guys because I think it'd be fun, and also I feel like poking fun at myself. Also, I just want to say I like my outfit today. I'm sporting all the Forever 21 merch. I got this from the Forever 21 women's section, and I got these pants from Forever 21 too. And I know some of my necklaces I think are also from Forever 21. I don't know, but yeah. So this video is going to be talking everything about season 1, the OG, the one from 2020, the one that I filmed 4 years ago, almost. And I dug deep in my notes app and in all my little trinkets and whatever, and I found all the info that I could about this season and what went into making it. So I'm gonna like divide this video into parts, and I'm gonna talk about what came before the show, how I developed it, like filming and everything. I'm gonna talk about all the contestants too. I figured I'm gonna start this video with talking about how Beanie Boo Survivor came to be. Our story is going to begin in March of 2020. I was a crusty little 8th grader, and my school let out for spring break. We never came back because that's when the lockdown happened. Now I just had a bunch of time on my hands and nothing to do with it. At this point, I had a Beanie Boo channel that I like posted on, you know, somewhat frequently. And so I figured why not make something new to keep myself occupied during quarantine. I had a few ideas for like a series with Beanie Boos. And so I'm gonna like talk about all of them in as much detail as I can because it's kind of interesting, at least to me. Basically, my first idea for like a series was actually Nickelodeon-esque sitcom parody. It'd be an ensemble cast, and they would be doing all these various things, and it would just be multiple episodes. And so this, I actually created scripts for 2 episodes. I still have them too. I still have them from 4 years ago, and it was called School Days, and it was going to feature none other than Cancun as the main character, which I know is kind of crazy considering how awful she was in Beanie Boo Survivor. But mind you, this is before Beanie Boo Survivor, well, like a month before. But yeah, she was the main character. The reason that she was the main character is because the day before everything shut down, the US went into lockdown, I actually went shopping. And I went to this one shopping center. I know the place up and down, like it's a second home. And I also went to the thrift store, and that's where I found Cancun. I got her for $1 alongside Gatsby, Lemon Drop, Slippers, and Pearly. I got them all at the same time, and I actually made a stop motion with them in March of 2020. I think it was called like Elements or something. I don't know, but they were the 5 featured ones because they were like brand new. And so because of that, Cancun was like my little de facto favorite because I just got her. And so that's why she became the main character of this series. And so now I'm gonna stop blabbering about other things, and I'm gonna talk about the premise of this series and everyone who was supposed to be in it. Our first character, obviously, is Cancun, and she was gonna be like, you know, the new girl. She just moved into like this new area, and so she was gonna go to, I think it was called Riverbend High School. She was like a new student in the first episode. I actually filmed part of the first episode, but I cannot find the footage anymore. The whole premise is that she moves to this new school, she meets some new friends, and they get into some trouble and they do some crazy things. And now I'm going to talk about the other cast because they're more interesting. In this series, Gatsby and Slush, specifically the Sequin Slush, they were her parents. She was going to be like a loving, supporting mother, and he was going to be like a father who was a workaholic. They moved because of Slush's job. That's how Cancun ends up at this new high school. And I just think that it's ironic because Gatsby ended up being Cancun's partner in season 2, and then Slush Yeah, we all know what happened with Slush. My little Cancun key clip, basically just this one, but a keychain, was gonna be the little sister, and she was gonna be Duchess. I was going to pretend that it was Duchess. It was not Duchess. Sorry if there's like noise in the background. My neighbors, 2 doors down, have these chickens. I don't know if y'all heard that, but what's more important is that they have roosters. 2 of the roosters actually, and these 2 roosters think that it's a competition to like outcrow the other. When one starts making up a whole ton of noise, the other one chimes in. Yeah, I think that one's the better one because the other one sounds like he's been smoking all of his life. They never shut up. And I swear, whenever I'm out here filming for Beanie Boo Survivor, I have to cut clips constantly because these stupid roosters never shut up. And I'm waiting for the day that we get a thunderstorm or a fox finds its way into that property and just solves that problem for me. Sorry, if you hear them in the background, that's just the roosters. Anyways, back to what I was talking about. Next in our cast, we have Aphrodite. And so Aphrodite was gonna become Cancun's best friend, like in the first episode, because Cancun moves to the school and she meets Aphrodite. Like that's the first person she meets. And Aphrodite was gonna be like this really nice and fun social butterfly who just got along with everyone. And she was gonna be like a popular girl, but like a nice type of popular girl. And so obviously Aphrodite ended up being way different than that whenever I used her for Beanie Boo Survivor. But yeah, that is how Aphrodite originally was. Next on the list, I have Tracy. So Tracy was also going to be in this sitcom, and she had the exact same personality as she ended up having in Beanie Boo Survivor Season 1. She was going to be like, oh, trendy. She just wants to follow the fads, and so she does anything to look cool. Oh my god. Okay, anyways, next up we have Sugar. Sugar was actually going to be in this sitcom, and she was not the main character. She was a side character. She was basically like the exact same person as she ends up being in Beanie Boo Survivor. She was sarcastic, she was mean, she had a lot of comebacks, and so she and Cancun, they're like friendly, but Sugar makes it clear that they're not friends. So if you've ever seen Victorious, just think of the relationship that Tori Vega and Jade West had. That's pretty much how they were. And so Sugar, a lot of the lines that Sugar had in this original sitcom prototype show, a lot of those lines were taken and reused in Beanie Boo Survivor. So some of the iconic quotes that Sugar says in like seasons 1 and 2 were actually originally part of this show, which is kind of funny to think about. And then our next friend, Piper. So Piper was also a food lover in this series, and that's why she ended up being the food lover in Beanie Boo Survivor, because she was written to be the food lover in this series, and so she basically just assumes the same role as she has in Beanie Boo Survivor. The only difference to Piper's character was that she was in a relationship with none other than Slick, which I know is crazy because we all saw how Slick ended up in Beanie Boo Survivor. He kind of ended up swinging the opposite way. He was a little bit like that, if we're gonna be real. Originally, Slick was actually gonna be dating Piper, and they were gonna be boyfriend and girlfriend, which is crazy to think of. So the reason that Slick and Piper were like dating in this prototype show is because series that I had, not with Beanie Boos, but just with stuffed animals in general, that was made back in January of 2019. So that was a long time ago now. And it was called The New Girl, I think, and it starred one of my other stuffed animals, my plush fox named Yuki. And it was basically the same premise as Cancun, where she's a new girl and she moves to a school and she meets some people. But within this show, the Beanie Boos do exist. They're just not like on their own. And so we see Piper and Slick end up having like a side arc, and they get together. And I tried to look for the footage from this original 2019 series, and I could not find it. Oh my god, that umbrella's gonna fall apart. Hold on, give me a second. This kind of just stayed a part of the lore of my life. Like, in my mind, these two were always together until Beanie Boo Survivor became a thing. Our last cast member for this prototype show is Smooches. She was gonna be like a quiet, shy girl who was really good at cooking. So that's why she and Piper were like best friends in this original series. Sugar's personality was not carried over to Beanie Boo Survivor, namely because she was not in season 1, and the same goes for Cancun and Aphrodite. But yeah, Smooches was also part of the series. But yeah, this is the prototype cast for School Days. I have the scripts for this show still from 4 years ago for episodes 1 and episodes 2. And I might post them, I might not. Just let me know if you want to see those. But yeah, that was the original show. Oh my god. Oh my god. I just spilled drink on my shoes. Anyways, the second series that I was considering was a parody of the one and only Dance Moms. This one actually low-key dates farther back than school days. It was gonna be called Dance Buddies. The original prototype, Dance Buddies, is I called all my stuffed animals buddies when I was little. And this was gonna be not a Beanie Boo show, but like just a plush show in general. It featured 7 of my plushies. It was Yuki, Forrest, Little Brown Dog, Adiala, Climby Lexi, Mittens, and Therese. And they were gonna be basically dancers who would compete every single week and try not to get torn apart by their own mothers. I actually filmed an episode of that back in 2019, but I could never upload it because it was like 40 minutes long. And back then, my little iPad couldn't handle videos that were any longer than 15 minutes. So it never saw the light of day, which is why I never made an episode 2. But it was going to have 16 episodes. And I actually have the planner for all 16 of those episodes still. I might post that, but I might not because it also has nothing to do with Beanie Boos. Okay, I think it's focused. Before season 4 was filmed, I actually considered reworking this idea and making it into a Beanie Boo show called Dance Boos. I actually did a stop motion for the group dance on episode 1. It's still on my channel. I think it was called like Buckle Up or something, but it was a stop motion. It had 7 Beanie Boos. Most of them aren't even in Beanie Boo Survivor, but if you look at that stop motion, you can see that one of the Beanie Boos loses a feather, like that was part of their costume, because that was going to be the main source of drama for the episode. And also on the background in the wall, you can see 7 index cards pinned to the wall because that was the pyramid, because I filmed the pyramid. I just never posted the episode. So back in quarantine, I spent most of my quarantine days either playing Roblox or watching reruns of various TV shows. I was watching a lot of Survivor because that was when season 40 was airing, and I was watching a lot of Total Drama because I love Total Drama. I was even playing the Survivor and Total Drama games on Roblox. Like, I played the Survivor game on Roblox as far back as 2017. And I played Total Drama Roblox from the first week that it was made. So I've been there, I've seen everything. Actually, I just got banned from Total Drama Island on Roblox last night and 3 nights ago. I have to get my account appealed for like the 15th time. Maybe I'll show you guys like all the instances where I got banned from Roblox. That's not the point. The point is that my constant exposure to like elimination media resulted in the idea of Beanie Boo Survivor just randomly spawning in my head one day. And so now I'm gonna talk about season 1. Okay, so for this segment, I went and I dug through all my things and I found this journal, the very journal that I used back in 2020 to write out all my plans for seasons 1, 2, and like half of season 3. Here it is, right here, this ancient artifact, this relic of time. And I'm gonna cover the logo with my thumb because it reveals where my location is. This was the journal, and so now I'm gonna show you guys all that's inside this journal. This is the back page of the journal, and it reveals all the original stereotypes that all the cast members of season 1 had. Mind you, I made my little sister write this. This is not my handwriting. Standouts are Nori as being the bratty one and the villain of the season, and she was only the villain for like half the season. Kipper was gonna be like the cute one of the season, but I'll get into him later. Anora was a silent one. Her original stereotype was that she was gonna be a silent person, and I will get into that more later. Yaga and Nestor were going to be rivals, actually. They had show off, but not very good, and then show off, but good. Now, in the very front page, you have this poorly drawn chart. And then over here, we have Hostess Crunch. We have the tribe names, the Fuzzy Falcons, the Sleepy Whales, and a scrapped tribe. The Valiant Snakes was gonna be the merged tribe. And that whole thing ended up getting taken out. Okay, here's a really janky, like, listing. And this actually reveals that the finale was originally going to have 2 people. And every season always has a 3-person finalist round, but this was originally going to be only 2 people. And then over here we have the Fuzzy Falcons and the Sleepy Whales, and you can see I wrote down what episodes they were all eliminated in, and right below that we have team swap. So yeah, these are the teams. All right, here's the page for episode 1. We introduced all the characters. We have the back deck, which is where I'm sitting right now, where the eliminations are held, and we have Camp Bikini Rose, the deck with stairs, tent, are the sleeping quarters. The tents, they were only shown once in the whole season, and I think it was like at the beginning of the 2nd or the 3rd episode. From here, all of the pages just list the episode, and so I'm gonna skip through most of these because there's nothing interesting, because, you know, everything that's here written down is what you end up seeing. Episode 10 was our first scrapped episode. You can actually see I crossed out the original episode and wrote down what actually happens below. And so the original premise of episode 10 was it was going to be called Into the Forest, and it was going to be that the campers would go into the woods and spend the night as their challenge, and it was going to happen the same night that they booted off Tracy the previous episode. I ended up scrapping this because my crusty little iPad, my stupid dinky little iPad that I filmed seasons 1 through 3 with, it could not handle being away from a charger for long enough to be in the woods. Like, I'd have to go all the way back there. And you see, I have the charger right here. That's why it got scrapped and replaced with Beanie Phobia at the last second. Episode 14 is also the same. The only difference is that it says here that they would be searching for gems. Episode 15, the challenge was actually changed. As you can see here, it says that the contestants must remember patterns and write them down on a slip of paper. That got scrapped, I think, due to time constraints, question mark. But episode 17, also, you see there's some crossed out stuff. It was originally going to be called the Hike of a Lifetime. The 6 remaining campers would be split into 2 groups of 3, and they were going to be placed on the opposite sides of the camp. So one group would be back there, and the other would be all the way over there. And they would have to race each other and hike back to the camp in order to win. For episode 18, the only difference is that there was an obstacle course challenge that the final five were going to do, and that got scrapped because I wanted to put more time on the eliminated contestants. Episode 19 was also changed. They were all originally going to go and battle it out on the swing that they use in episode 3 of season 1. What's really interesting is the episode special that takes place after the season has ended, and I have it right here. I'm just gonna read it out. All of the contestants, excluding Kiki, who is now in jail for 6 months for property damage, are back at camp. Hidden somewhere are free tickets for a trip to Disneyland. Whoever finds them and gets back to camp first gets them. In the end, the tickets are accidentally shredded and the 10 contestants that had it tie for first place. It is then announced that since they all tied, they will be in season 2. Along with them will be 20 new contestants, and the winner gets $1 million. This idiot right here was gonna go to jail. You can kind of tell that I had that idea because when she loses in the season 1 finale, she like throws everything around. She has like a massive tantrum or whatever. She was gonna get arrested for that, and I honestly don't know why that never ended up happening. But I have a really funny story about this specific episode that I feel like I should tell. When I filmed that episode, I'd just gotten back from a week-long trip. I went to Tennessee. This trip took place in between the finale for season 1 and the reunion episode, so I took like a week-long break from filming. After I'd filmed this reunion episode, the same night that I filmed it, I was sleeping peacefully in my bedroom, and then I was woken up at like 2 or 3 in the morning because I heard rustling in my room, and I was like, what is that? I turned on my lights, and I didn't see anything. But then I see this giant, gargantuan scorpion on my floor, scuttling around. I didn't notice it at first because it blended in with the floor because I have like a wood floor. And I freaked out because scorpions are my biggest fear. Like they will make me cry. I can't even look at photos of them. Like I can't even look at the dead ones that they put in lollipops. Like I hate scorpions. And so I flew out of my bed, ran into my living room, and I slept on the table. I did not enter my bedroom for a long time. The only reason I actually went back in there was because I had to go get all the Beanie Boos out so I could film season 2. So yeah, that is the story of how I got terrorized by a scorpion at the season 1 reunion episode. Okay, now that that's done and dealt with, I'm going to talk about every single contestant that was on season 1, and I'm going to talk about like their inspiration, what like kind of played into how they ended up as characters, stuff like that. And so for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to go in elimination order. So I'm going to start off with Butter. Butter is an enigma. She is certainly a character. Her original personality was that she was actually supposed to be like this unmotivated type of character who just didn't care enough about the competition. And she was also not originally the first boot. Rusty was actually the original first boot. Then Butter's personality kind of got changed to where she was just narcoleptic, and there was no point keeping her around when she like spoke to nobody, so that's why she got the boot first. She has lost footage basically. In season 1 episode 1, when all the campers are being introduced, I introduced Butter. Crunch gets mad at Butter because she's too tired to give him a proper answer. This footage actually, it got corrupted. I don't know how, but whenever I was exporting that movie, like that project, it just cut itself out from like the whole thing. But yeah, Butter. Next up is Rusty. Rusty was actually the original planned first boot of the season. This changed because of Butter's change in personality, and so he got to stick around for one more episode. I also changed it because Rusty was a boy, and since I picked this cast by random, I chose them all by spinner wheel. It was like 15 girls and 5 boys, and so I didn't want to like kick out a dude right away because it was just the gender ratio was so uneven. Rusty also holds the title of being the first character to ever be derailed because of the whole like suing thing. He gets voted out again at the merge because he hates Piper and everyone else is like, sorry that you suck at life so bad, we're still gonna vote you out. He's kind of just like faded it into irrelevancy, which is low-key understandable because let's face it, does this Beanie Boo stand out to you? Is this a standout character? No. Next up is Tulip. And you might be wondering, who's Tulip? And I'm wondering the same thing because I forgot about her low-key. She's that irrelevant. Basically, her whole thing was that she was gonna like constantly crave validation. That's where the whole "I'm sorry" came from. Had she been like an actual fleshed out character, she would be really similar to how Tasha is in the new season. If you are a Tulip fan somehow and you wish you saw more of this character, just go watch Tasha in season 5. Next up is Enchanted. Enchanted is an interesting one because she was like a minor villain. Originally, Enchanted was actually supposed to last a little bit longer, episode 7 or 8. So she wasn't gonna make it far, but she was at least gonna make it a little bit farther than she ended up making. There was no elimination in episode 1, but I still had to eliminate 10 people, so that way there would be 10 people going into the merge. I had to eliminate 10 campers over the span of 9 episodes, which meant that there would have to be a double elimination somewhere. Originally, Enchanted's attempt at getting Bloomy out of the game was actually going to work. Bloomy ended up being part of the double boot that was necessary, and so that's why Enchanted's sabotage ends up backfiring. Had she made Bloomy go away from the rest of the team, it would have worked. So in the end, it was Enchanted's own fault that she got eliminated. I've seen people mention that they wish they saw more of her. With the way the cards ended up being played, it just, no. Yaga, he was like the show-off dude. And he actually had a scrapped rivalry with Nestor. Him and Nestor were supposed to be rivals because Yaga would suck at everything, but Nestor was good at everything, so he would be like, ugh, I hate you. This ended up getting scratched because they were not on the same team. When the team swap did happen, he did get swapped onto the same team as Nestor, but it was only for 1 episode. He does hold the title of being the first ever character to curse on the show, to say some no words. He was just like, oh, I hate all of you, you stupid. I just had him shake a little bit, put the censorship beep over it, and just went. Other times, like namely seasons 4 and 5, I'll say an alternate word to make it sound like it's the actual word, or there will be instances where I actually do say the curse words. Here's Yaga. Kipper is kind of similar to Enchanted in the fact that he was supposed to make it farther, but he ended up getting put out earlier because of the necessary double boot. He was supposed to be the merge boot. Like originally, he would have made it to episode 11. With Kipper being gone, there was no point in having Bloomy around. I could just get rid of 2 people like that, and then I would have the right amount of people going into the merge. And I was considering actually having Manny and Jewel be the episode 7 double boot, but it's just that Bloomy sucked more, so I had to take Kipper out. Oh, shut up. Okay, I think Bloomy is like the most hated contestant of season 1. Maybe even out of all the seasons, which is understandable. It was easy to put her as one of the double boot people because with Kipper being gone, there was no point in her being there. Anyways, no one likes Bloomy. Moving on. Boom Boom is like a weird one. AZ vibes from Total Drama. I didn't know what to do with her, but that's why she got disqualified. She was the first ever contestant to get disqualified. Here's Tracy. I already mentioned that she was a part of the original School Days. Her personality was carried over from one show to the other. I'm gonna be honest, I kind of like Tracy. I know she's kind of bratty and she sucks at a lot of things, but I liked Tracy. Like, there's a reason she was in the original show because I liked her as a Beanie Boo and I liked that personality archetype. I had to eliminate her kind of early because there was no spot for her in the merge. Like, she wasn't really involved with anything. Tracy does hold the title of being the first ever character to compete in a challenge because Sugar pushed her off the cliff in episode 2. I think Tracy's underrated. If there's any Tracy fans out there, I'm with you. I'm low-key a Tracy fan. Twiggy.
Hi guys, my name is Twiggy, and I'm like really pretty.
I can't really do the Twiggy voice anymore because my voice was way higher pitched when I was in 8th grade, and listen to me now, I sound totally different. Twiggy is an interesting one because she was just supposed to be like, you know, the Lindsay, the Paris Hilton, the Nicole Richie, the Karen Smith. People just liked her for some reason. I don't even know. Twiggy was actually supposed to be the merge boot, not in like the first draft, but one of the other drafts for the eliminations. She was like Nori's right-hand man. She was manipulated. She ended up being one of the fan favorites. I mean, she'll probably get talked about more in seasons 2 and 4 if I make videos about those. But yeah, here's Twiggy. Little dumb idiot. You're not smart. Girl, you're not smart. Yeah, here's Twiggy. Sorry about that. Now, we are moving on to the merge cast, starting with Nori. Nori was actually supposed to be the villain of the season, like the main villain of the season. And she was supposed to stay for all 20 episodes. This ended up getting changed because Nori was kind of getting her ass ate by Sugar in every way possible. Anytime Nori tried to do anything, it just got downplayed by other people. And so there was no point in having a villain stick around the whole time if she sucked at everything she did. Sorry, Nori. So that's why Kiki was introduced as a character. And that's why Nori ended up being the merge boot. So that way it would establish Kiki as like, you know, the new big guy, the new threat, the new villain, because she just eliminated the previous villains. Nestor is probably one of, if not the most underrated character ever. And that's partially my fault because I only put him in one season. Nestor, he had the trashed rivalry with Yaga. And you can kind of see that in the first episode they both appear in, where like Nestor's like, I'm gonna do a flip and he does it good, and then Yaga was like, I'm gonna do a flip and he sucks at it. Scrappy's behavior is actually inspired by the moms from Dance Moms. Her stereotype is that she's like the argumentative chick, and so she's like bold and she's in everyone's faces, and that's kind of like how Sissy in the new season is right now. Her name is Scrappy. She's low-key scrappy. She's scrapping up with everybody. Oh my god, I hope that rooster gets hit by a truck. Anora is one of the most interesting cases ever because she was actually supposed to be the third boot of the season. Her original personality was that she was like the quiet chick of the group. The quiet chick of the group who didn't really do much. And so, that all got changed. And she ended up being one of, if not the most influential character across multiple seasons. She was almost an irrelevant character. She was almost a nothing character, which is honestly crazy to think of because she's one of the most talked about characters. She wasn't going to be originally, so there's Nora. Those roosters. Oh my god, I hate those roosters. Shut up! Shh. Yeah? I can bark back. I'm gonna talk about Manny and Jewel because they're basically like one entity. Okay, so Manny and Jewel, before the series was actually a thing, what I would do when I was little, I would like play with all my Beanie Boos. I would play school with them often, and Manny and Jewel were best friends in this alternate universe too. And so when they both ended up being picked for Beanie Boo Survivor, there was no doubt in my mind that these two would be best friends. And also, they were both cheerleaders back when I was in like middle school. They were like the cheer captains. And so they were like really fun and really popular. Oh my god. Really? Really? Oh my god. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, Espiritu Santo, I'm not gonna do anything stupid today. I'm gonna be a nice person. I might not look like a nice person, but I'm a nice person in the heart. They were supposed to be early boots, but I liked them. So they lasted pretty long. Fetch is like one of the most iconic Beanie Boos ever to exist. Everyone and their grandma had Fetch. It was no surprise to me. I would have Fetch go far in my season. So it's the only thing is like he's kind of boring, at least to me. But he's nice. He's nice. It's just that me personally, I like characters who fight. I like characters who bring drama. And Fetch does not bring drama. See, even the rooster agrees with me. Rainbow is just a little cutie patootie. I'm pretty sure she was the first character to ever like get a confessional. She honestly like kind of ate up season 1. She kind of ate the floor in seasons 2 and 4. I actually hate those roosters so much. Oh, we used to have a lot of foxes in this neighborhood, and foxes are my favorite animal. And one of those reasons that they're my favorite animal is because foxes kill roosters. And so I'm gonna like find a fox running around these woods somewhere because I have woods that surround my house. I'm gonna find a fox. I'm gonna put it in there. I'm gonna put it in there, and I'm gonna solve that problem. I'm sorry. I don't express affection towards most people or most things, and roosters are not an exception. But yeah, here's Rainbow. Kiki, this idiot, this bitch was supposed to go to jail. She wasn't actually supposed to be in the season originally. I don't know why I'm standing up, but I'm tired of sitting down, and I feel like I should yell at the roosters again. Kiki was brought into the season halfway through because I felt like Nori was kind of lackluster, and I felt like Nori wasn't bringing it. And so Kiki was brought into the season as like a late addition. So she was actually handpicked, whereas everyone else in season 1 was picked by a generator. Kiki, and at least in the lore of my life, in the lore of my mind, has always been a villain Beanie Boo. Because like, let's face it, does she look like a hero to you? No, not in the slightest. And also, Kiki is a rip-off. Willow is the original. Kiki is a rip-off. I just don't have Willow because she was a Justice exclusive, and she has not been in stores for like 9 years. But yeah, Kiki is a major villain, and from the day I got her, I always just acted like she was a villain. Because she looks like it. She's catty. Kiki was supposed to go to jail. She did not end up going to jail. I know there's like a small portion of my fan base that thinks she's lesbian. I love Piper. I know a lot of you compare Piper to Owen from Total Drama Island, and let me just tell you right now, I hate Owen. I personally think that Owen sucks. I watched the ending where Gwen won, and so for everyone to tell me that no, Owen won, not Gwen, it makes me mad. And I have never liked Owen. He's personally my least favorite character of Total Drama. I would see people in my comments comparing Piper to Owen. I would just get a little bit mad. Like, I see where you're coming from. I just don't like it. I love Piper on the other hand. I think she's fun. I think she's way better. She was, you know, a part of the original School Days cast. Her personality just carried over. There's Piper. Oh, also my Piper is like super raggedy because whenever Piper was first released as a Beanie Boo, I fell in love with this Beanie Boo. The moment I saw her online, I knew that I had to get this Beanie Boo. Once I finally got her, they decided to release Atlas, which kind of irritated me, but I got Atlas too, so there's no problem. Now we have the one and only, the most iconic of the series, Sugar. So Sugar was a part of the original prototype School Days. She was the sarcastic negative person. I thought it would be funny to have Sugar, this cute little innocent looking fluffy dog, be a really mean person. And also Sugar takes inspiration from Jade West and Alex Russo from Victorious and Wizards of Waverly Place, respectively, because I love both of those characters, and one of my favorite archetypes is like a really sarcastic, mean person, which is probably the reason that I'm so mean to children on Roblox. It was like a no-brainer in my mind that Sugar should win this season. The whole point of the show is to be dramatic, and you know, it's trashy reality TV, and so I was like, Sugar, she's sarcastic, she's trashy, she should win this. And so Sugar has always been the winner. There was no ever other winner planned. Sugar has been the winner. She is the it girl. Yeah, that's Sugar. But yeah, that is it. That is everything. All the little tiddly bits of information about season 1 of Beanie Boo Survivor. And I figured I felt like I made this video on impulse. And like, I also just wanted to show off this outfit because I thought that I looked really good in this outfit. I hope you guys all liked this video. I hope you guys all liked seeing my face for the first time in like 4 years, other than the time that I accidentally showed my face in like some episode of season 3, and I didn't realize until after I posted it, and then I was like really anxious about that, and I cried about it that night. Now you guys have a face to the voice. The person who does Beanie Boo Survivor, the person who has all those trashy characters and all those somewhat offensive jokes. And yes, I am a dude. There's been a lot of conversation that I've seen over the course of time over whether or not I was a dude or a chick. But I think that it's fairly obvious now, especially with the way I sound compared to how I sounded a few years ago. But yeah, it felt necessary to make a video like this. I'm in my last year of high school. I'm gonna be graduating in May. Maybe if I can figure out how to work a webcam and stuff, I'll like react to the old episodes from 2020, because I have not actually like gone through and watched all those episodes since like 2021. And so I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember how a lot of them play out. So if y'all wanna see me react to my own episodes, and if y'all wanna see me make fun of myself, just tell me, let me know down below, and I'll try and see if I can fit that in with my schedule for season 5. In the meantime, this has been fun. This has been fun talking about season 1, and I will see you guys all when I either do a video like this for season 2 or I post episode 6 of season 5. Peace out. Stay safe.